Hey there, www.andrewmarkmusic.com, Riffvlog on Ecotheism. Um, a little preamble here. I did my first hot yoga on Sunday night. I did a barter for a painting job and loved it. But as the crappy universe would have it, 2 hours later I felt that tickle in my chest, and I haven't been sick in 10 years. I just generally don't get sick. You know, I have this injury, but that's a separate issue. And that morphed into a fairly nasty head cold, so that's unfortunate, isn't it, Ganeshan? Okay, so this is a Riffvlog on Ecotheism. I'll talk about Mike O'Dowd's, quasi-religious ecological perspectives, and that it's. I know what I'm going to say here. It's kind of regrettable that Christianity is the only religion that's being appealed to for ecological sanity. I wonder what's wrong with all the other religions, that they can't see that this should be a primary issue. Anyway, I was just walking to get some vitamin C boosters and that in my smoothie, and I came across the Georgia Strait. It's the Zionist-controlled real estate sales newspaper in Vancouver, so they sell real estate in it, and the front page was, "Don't worry about the environment, technology's we've got that sussed, it's not a problem whatsoever." And I thought to myself, Andrew, how would you want to live if you could live in a pristine paradise where all the economic structures are corrupt to the fucking core? Would you want to live there? And I thought to myself, Andrew, no, I wouldn't want to live there. So I am resigned to live in this toilet fucking shithole that's being polluted to every which way by the largest, corruptest economic system ever to come into existence, and I will continue to speak out. And I shall not be apologetic. So, anyway, I think Michael Dowd and I are gonna disagree on Christian theism. There's absolutely no doubt about that, and it'd be an interesting conversation. But there's so many scriptures within the New Testament that say this place is irredeemable, that are extraordinarily Gnostic in their interpretations. And indeed, most of the first Christians were Gnostic before they were wiped off the earth. And this alternate story of Christianity was taken over by the incoherent Universal Catholic version of the story, which look at. I don't want to make this a war against Catholicism and its little devilish children that ran out and about and caused mayhem around the world, and 500-year genocide against the Aboriginals and all over the world. And hey, but the only thing that we have to concern ourselves there is the Holocaust, right? Anyway, so yes, so Dowd and I are going to disagree on Christianity, but we will be in full agreement about this earth and how it should be treated. Now, the great irony here of course, from my part, is that I believe this place is irredeemable, and that explains why it's being trashed. As I walk through the greenest city on earth, there's just trash everywhere. Nobody gives a shit about anything in Vancouver anymore. It's just an economic system where everybody's gaming everybody for as much as they can get. A house here that in 1948 sold for $10,000, a very fine house, is now $20 million. You know, it's just like, oh. They think this is sustainable, you know. So, okay, should we treat the earth with ecological respect? Yes. Even as a Gnostic, I say yes. That should be the ethos. Is it being treated that way? Unequivocally, no. You know, what we have is corporate greenwashing, you know, all the usual suspects, the unholy trinity of the bankers going, oh, it's so wonderful today. It's just, look at this picture, you know, look at this Hollywood movie that shows how beautiful it all is, you know, and yeah, not buying it. I think that since mid-century, I'm not sure the exact number, I think that it's 40 to 60% of the biosphere has died. Okay, so that's you know, to be blunt, that's murder of life by humans, if it is humans doing this. And certainly from my alternative Gnostic view, the Anthropocene is a misnomer by what could be best described as Nephilim archons, you know, but we can never know when we look at another human being that they're not humans, so it's all speculative. But they're putting out this narrative now that this massive worldwide system of corruption can be cleaned up through technological measures. I mean, this guy in the Georgia Strait is not the first person to you know, try and sell this gambit. There's Jeremy Rifkin, you know, and yeah, we'll see. I mean, is it possible? Yeah, but go back to my first statement, you know, clean up the economic corruption first, you know, and then maybe I'll talk to you about having clean air, you know. So I do like Michael Dowd. I think that to buy into what he's saying, you do have to believe all the official stories of science. And I think that's the biggest stumbling block right now, because what this system of economic corruption has ushered in, the billionaire plutocracy, the Nephilim archons, they've ushered in a whole worldwide system of mistrust and distrust. So you have the number one search on Google is flat earth now. Just nobody trusts anybody. The civilization is in a trust decline, and it's like exponential, how bad it's become, especially since the lies of 9/11. So, you know, you have to sort of deal with that issue before you can say, yeah, well, this, you know, scientific version or reinterpretation of Christianity is just right on the mark, you know. So you have to make that leap of faith. I'm more or less willing to make that leap of faith because I do believe most of the official stories of science. I just believe that, you know, the people who are making some of these stories up aren't human. Okay, so we all have our quirks, you know. But I could be wrong about that. The Eric Dubays of the world could be right, although I don't think they are. So, you know, Dowd asks you to accept the official stories. He's asking you to believe a certain reinterpretation of Christendom, and I'm okay with that. I think, you know, that you can certainly interpret ecology into any Christian narrative. You know, that the idea was always stewardship. You know, it was always to conserve a conservatism of the environment, and to treat it so that there would be, you know, care for future generations. And what we have now is we have a Christianity that's an ecological thief. You know, it's stealing from future generations. This is in no way can be, you know, aligned with any coherent version of what Jesus taught. You know, perhaps unless you want to go, okay, well, this is the end times, and a part of the end time scenario is ecological devastation. Sure, but you shouldn't be cheerleading for it. Even if that's true, Christians shouldn't be cheerleading for the death of the planet, and they shouldn't be taking part in the economic corruption that's leading to the environmental devastation of the planet. So even if you want to say the normative view of the end times is ecological destruction, the relationship between Christians and that you know, mode of operation is as wrong as it could possibly be. So yeah, I think that's really all I have to say. I'm going to get into in this third part of this post, professional liars, and see if we can suss out and get some insight to who's lying about what and why. You know, now, obviously I'm not going to be able to give any definitive answers to that question, but I'm going to try and tackle it. Okay, so www.andrewmartinmusic.com, Riffvlog on ecological theism. Okay, peace out, peace the fuck out.